Hey guys, and welcome back to Next Gen Gaming here in Los Angeles. I am Regina Angley, and I am joined by Eugene Vizel for your finals today for the first PC of the first format here in Southern California.
So we are in the finals between Giovanni Costa and Jackson Finch. Jackson Finch, the number 1 seed, going undefeated, and Giovanni, number 2 seed, going 4-1. So
his only loss actually being to Jackson in the Swiss rounds. So kind of fun thing for us there. We just saw Jackson, obviously, not a couple minutes ago, win against Andrew Weaver. So we've seen his team kind of understand a lot of his strategies on there, showing that he knows how to kind of make a little bit of some good reads on there. We didn't see all of his team from that round.
Right, and Giovanni, very well known for his Caught in the Trap series, with, of course, the famous Whimsicott. We have Gio running the Kangaskhan. Wow, locking in fast. Kangaskhan, Gengar, Tapu Bulu, Tapu Fini, Heatran, and Whimsicott.
And on Jackson's side, as we've seen just not a couple minutes ago, that Manectric, Tapu Fini, Celesteela, Landorus T, Tyranitar, and Kartana. So, there's some kind of fun things here. Obviously, everyone who, like you said, who's seen Gio kind of knows about that whole Caught in the Trap thing, knows that he enjoys that. The Gio did come in second at the MS last week.
Right.
I think using this almost same exact team.
Yeah, the same exact team, I think.
Cool. So, for people who watch that, kind of, understanding his strategies in this, and for Jackson, we're gonna see they've already played each other today, not even, I think, like an hour ago at this point.
Right, so, I think Jackson has a little bit of the advantage because Gio's team is so popular.
Well, I don't think knowing somebody's team gives you an advantage quite. It still requires a level of playstyle. These are both very good players.
Right.
So we do see the Manectric and the Landorus coming out on Jackson's side, and we see the Whimsicott and the Gengar coming out on Giovanni's side.
So that Landorus is Intimidate, not really gonna do much to either the Gengar or the Whimsicott, both being very specially attacking Pokemon. But this Manectric can possibly go for a very super effective move onto Whimsicott, as it does get Flamethrower.
Right. So I think on Jackson's side, you're going to have to start thinking, hey, if I know Giovanni and I know this Whimsicott and I know this Gengar, or just I know this thing in general, what am I going to do? So Gio is actually switching out his Gengar for the Tapu Bulu.
And if I'm not wrong, we're going to see the Z move here.
Might possibly onto which Pokemon? Oh, so Jackson's Mega Manectric finally coming out and getting an Intimidate.
That's actually, that's big on Bulu, considering Bulu is a very physical Pokemon.
Right here. So I'm super excited to see this Mega Manectric. Like I've said before, I really enjoy Generation 3 Pokemon. They're some of my favorite ones
and
to see.
We do see the Z move, the Z Nature Power converting into a Bloom Doom from Whimsicott. Would be expecting that to go into the Landorus, as it heavily threatens most of his team.
Right. I would like to say that if you have the option to be able to use a priority Z move, it's kind of one of those things that you're going to go for it. It's there for you, going to the Manectric.
That's actually very fair, right? Because Manectric does get the Flamethrower. Bye-bye, Manectric. That's a dead dog.
That's going to be a hard one for Jackson, because this is one of those Pokemon that he, I think, was expecting to go into a going into a Gengar, going to try to get some attacks out on there. So the Landorus doing a U-turn onto the Whimsicott. We're going to get that Celesteela. So
Celesteela is actually very interesting here, because Celesteela gets Acrobatics and Heavy Slam, which does super effective damage against both Tapu Bulu and Whimsicott. And we're going to see the Landorus cycling in another Intimidate onto that Bulu.
I think it's one of those fun things where you have U-turn, you have the option. Even though Jackson lost his Pokemon, at least he's able to get back in there and get that second Intimidate off. Because now that Tapu Bulu is going to be able to attack next turn, we know that Whimsicott has burned its Z move. We still do have that Mega Gengar in the back.
Right.
Oh, sorry, not a Mega Gengar yet.
And Whimsicott can't Encore anything, as Whimsicott most likely would have done that if it had seen Landorus go for the EQ, and we see Tailwind coming out.
Which, I like to joke that if Whimsicott has Tailwind up, it has done its job.
Yes. Because now both of Gio's Pokemon next turn will be outspeeding, and Tapu Bulu would hammer into the Landorus. That's going to do a very good amount of damage, bringing it into the red after a -2. And Life Orb, Tapu Bulu, and
The
Yeah.
Celesteela gonna KO that Whimsicott, so we are
Definitely
gonna see
doesn't like it.
But, you know, again, like, if you're Geo, you saw that Whimsicott, you're like, hey, I got Tailwind up. That's okay. I'm going to make the most out of it. Celesteela's attack rising because of that Beast Boost, and only Tapu Bulu getting that HP recovery from Grassy Trade because it is the only Pokemon touching the ground.
Right, and this is going to be very interesting. Gengar can actually Mega Evolve and trap both Mons here if it would like, but I don't think Tapu Bulu very much likes that.
Well, Tapu Bulu can also Rock Slide into both of these Pokemon if it wants to.
Right, because the Rock Slide will most likely pick up a KO onto the Landorus and do pretty good damage to the Celesteela.
We also know that Landorus is choice. It has locked into Earthquake from the previous turn, and on
Right.
grassy terrain, it's not going to do that much damage. And I think the only reason that Jackson locked it into that was he's expecting the Gengar to switch in. So it's going to be unfortunate that the damage won't be as much, but I think he also understands that this is a Pokemon that he can at least do some damage to.
Right, very interesting that Heatran, very, very, very
Smart.
risky play, bringing Heatran into the Earthquaking Landorus.
I think on Geo's side, it's a good choice because, again, so what's going to happen is, even if that Landorus had been able to, picking up the KO with a Shadow Ball onto the Landorus, but if that Landorus had been able to get the Earthquake off, we have to remember that the damage against it on terrain is not going to be as much. And it's going to take that Heavy Slam really nicely from the Celesteela, and Celesteela can't switch out now, so which means it's not going to like any sort of Heat Wave coming
Right,
in
of course.
from the Heatran.
And another thing is, Tailwind is up for, I think, another 3 to 4 turns, and it's very much not going to like taking anything. And Tapu Fini switching in very interesting. Oh, it is the last Pokemon, so Gengar can go for a free Sludge Bomb onto the Fini here.
And we do get the special defense boost from Celesteela because of the Misty Seed. We're going to have to see how much damage Heat Wave is going to do on that.
We're going to see Jackson forfeiting, not wanting to reveal any information, possibly hiding something from Giovanni.
Maybe something that didn't show up in their previous match. And I think, though, if you're Jackson and you're looking at this team, you understand there's no point in dragging this out if, one, his Gengar can KO my Tapu Fini with that Sludge Bomb, and if that Heatran is out on there, he can't really do anything on that. So,
Maybe he would have been able to get some information out on what moves Giovanni was running.
right. But I also think that I think it's also interesting that Geo ended up Mega Evolving on that turn because of the fact that he had taken down, that team was like already down to 2. So.
Right, I mean, I think he did Mega Evolve the turn before just to make sure that the... actually, no. The Landorus could have switched out. So, yeah, it was interesting. Probably wanting more damage output in case something would live a Shadow Ball or a Sludge Bomb. So,
Alright, so if you're Jackson looking down at this team, though, and you know that Geo wasn't afraid to bring that Heatran, then this explains why he didn't bring the Kartana.
right. I think Kartana would be good here. Possibly because we have seen the rise of Z Tailwind Kartana, making it a very, very annoying Pokemon. Critical hitting a lot of things as Kartana gets access to Smart Strike, Leaf Blade, and Sacred Sword, which KOs most things on this team.
But you also have to be wary of that Whimsicott having Prankster, getting access to Tailwind super early on in that first turn. But I think also if you're Jackson, you want to get more use out of your Manectric or just drop it for this round at all. And you kind of want to make sure that you don't trap 2 Pokemon that are going to face down something besides Gengar
Right.
that it's not going to like.
Right, and of course, this Mega Gengar Whimsicott lead is so detrimental to Geo's team. I mean, it does
Instrumental?
detrimental.
Whimsicott lead? Okay. Alright.
Because, I mean, he can do so much damage, and then again, he can trap things, and, I mean, if the Kartana were to go for a Tailwind, he could get on court next turn.
Right. Well, I think Geo having the option to switch out Pokemon that are beside, like having the option to just kind of figure out how he wants to handle this. If you're Jackson, you're gonna really want to make sure that you take care of any possible shadow tags that are gonna come out from this Gengar.
Right, so we're gonna see caught in the trap itself, and the Gengar here. Very solid lead, although Landorus can go for an EQ and it wouldn't like it.
Right, so Landorus and Celesteela on Jackson's side coming out again against Geo's lead of Whimsicott and Gengar. So I think Jackson is going to have to start really thinking about if Geo's going to pull the same move that he did last turn and switch out that Gengar, which I think was a surprise to him. We don't see the Manectric coming out from Jackson on this in this match, so a little bit of a switch from him. And, he's switching out the Landorus on this turn.
Right, because, I mean, we did see that last time Bulu came in and a Z move came out, and Bulu does come in, so this is not good for the Bulu. Oh, this is very not good for the Bulu.
I think this is super interesting because we saw that Geo had used the Grassy Terrain to get the Z move out from the Whimsicott, but now we see Mega Gengar coming out on Geo's side, really, like, the first turn. I love the way shiny Mega Gengar looks. Like, that white coloring just looks so fantastic. I think it lends more credence to its ghost typing on there.
Right, of course. And Heavy Slam, going into the Bulu, that's going to do a lot of damage, and that's a dead Bulu.
Very nice. The hard part about this, I think, is Jackson brought both his steel types into a match against Mega Gengar, where Sludge Bomb, like normally a very, very heavy hitting move, won't be doing anything to either of these two Pokemon, and Jackson isn't going to be able to switch out. But now he's staring down this Whimsicott as well, which he can take care of, and even though it's probably going to get Tailwind up, it's one of those things where it's like...
Right, and Tailwind doesn't affect the speed on the very first turn that it's up, so Jackson could possibly just match this Tailwind with his own Kartanas, and this Gengar or Whimsicott can't do anything to it.
Right. So Jackson kind of showing that he's changed the strategy a little bit, showing a nice idea of exactly what he needs to be able to do. So the Heavy Slam, Encore, coming onto the Celesteela.
Very interesting here. Oh, Encore
God.
Disable.
I forgot that was a thing.
Right, so he really doesn't want to lose his Whimsicott here. And Kartana goes for the Tailwind. So next turn, this Kartana is going to be faster than Gengar.
Ouch. I totally forgot that this was a thing on here.
Right.
The Celesteela is going to have to choose some different moves on here.
Actually, no, it can't because it
right,
is Encore. So now it's going to be struggling. Right, so that's the strategy that Giovanni goes for very often.
Totally forgot that this
Oh
was
my god, double
Yikes.
Encore Disable.
Yikes.
Oh no.
Ouch.
That's no good.
Oh no.
Oh, right, of course, Encored it into Tailwind. And he's trapped. Okay, yep.
If you're Jackson, you're just shaking your head at this and you're just going to wonder, what are you going to do against any of these Pokemon that,
struggle doing so much recoil. Wow.
There's not much you can do. It's one of those techs that it's one of those strategies that once it gets picked up, you just sit there and you're like, wow, how do I go against this? And Jackson's going to be in a really tight spot right now because both of his Pokemon are going to be unable to do anything. Giovanni's going to get the Tailwind up on his Whimsicott, and his Gengar is still out there. Kartana's using Tailwind again because he got Encored. Shadow Ball into the Kartana and going to do some damage on that.
That's okay. Bringing it down to its focus sash, and most likely not targeting the Celesteela because it will struggle. Most likely into the Whimsicott and knock itself out in recoil. Nice. Surviving by very little.
We can see Jackson and Giovanni from where we're sitting right now, and Jackson's just shaking his head, and it's just one of those things where it's very difficult to just kind of be able to come back from. So luckily for him, his Celesteela did survive that. His Celesteela did survive that recoil damage. Its Encore is disabled now.
Right, but Whimsicott can go for another Encore into the Celesteela. Actually, no, you cannot Encore a struggling Pokemon. I totally forgot about that.
So Nature Power going into an Energy Ball, taking care of that Kartana very easily. So we're probably going to see a Shadow Ball coming from the Gengar into the Celesteela. Going to pick up a double KO on this turn on Geo's side. Excuse me. So both players changing their strategies, and Geo just showing a little bit more of an advantage, doing very well, showing that Whimsicott Gengar kind of pairing the Encore and Disable, which I cannot believe I forgot about because I was running it for a little bit, testing it out on Showdown.
Right. And, we do see the Grassy Terrain run out, so Whimsicott will not be able to go for a Bloom Doom that it would want to go for onto the Landorus. And this does not look like a great position as Feeny. Ooh, that's rough. Feeny can't really do much to either of these Mons, and if he does bring in the Bulu, that could be a dead Feeny or a dead Lando.
Right. Well, and we know that Nature Power...
and it gets Swinkle Tackle now, too. Oh, this is bad.
Jackson's just kind of now in a corner over here, and Geo just kind of showing a really good change in strategy. Excuse me. And, just kind of pairing this Whimsicott and this Gengar together, showing why he loves these leads so much. And it's very difficult sometimes to counter that because if you're caught in that corner,
caught in the trap. When you're caught in that trap,
it's so hard to avoid saying it.
When you're caught in that trap, you can't get out. And we're gonna see this Twinkle Tackle.
Yeah. So Nature Power, very nice with the Tapus and the Terrains because you have this access to 4 different types of Z-moves at your disposal. Twinkle Tackle, obviously, for the Misty Terrain coming out from Tapu Fini, and it's just going to go into that Landorus. It's most likely going to pick up the KO. I'm actually not sure on this one. No. Ooh,
No.
So close.
Right, 'cause
But Shadow Ball going to clean it up nicely, and this Tapu Fini is going to be staring down a bunch of Pokemon that it won't really have the firepower to be able to take down. So,
Scald coming out onto the Gengar most likely. Yeah, not really going to do much
Ouch.
damage.
I think if you're Jackson, though, I don't think you can get mad at yourself because you did change your strategy according to what you saw based off game one. And on game one, we didn't see a lot from Geo doing like a lot of these things right now. And so Whimsicott using fake tears, and the Sludge Bomb going into there, so just that extra special defense, it's definitely going to pick up that KO on there.
Well, it's very interesting that Giovanni is running a team that is 3 Pokemon that are double weak to poison. And although that is the case, he reached second at the MSS last weekend, and he won this PC in a pretty spectacular fashion. Very interesting how he's avoiding all those poison types.
Well, if you're trying to run this team, you're going to understand how to counter Pokemon that are going to be weak to yours, that you're weak to, and figure out how exactly to run it in a very good way. And like I said, if you're Jackson, you're not going to be. I don't think you should be mad at how you ran this team because you adjusted based on what you saw. You tried your best, and it's just very difficult once you're stuck in that Encore and Disable on there. And so, very good play from both of them, and this is technically like a rematch for them. And it's one of those kind of just usurping moments where Jackson beat Geo in the final round of Swiss, but then Geo comes back and takes it and wins this PC. So very good job from them.
Giovanni Costa is our.
So Gio does want to say something. Is our we'll move over.
PC champion Giovanni Costa joining us for an interview. Giovanni,
I just want to be here to give a shout out to my #1 fan, Andrew Nowak, who begged me to win this PC so that we could be at the same amount of CP and we could be right next to each other in the CP standings. So this win is for you, Drew. This win is for you, dude.
Oh, the wink. And we do have to thank Giovanni. He does do all of the edits for the streaming that you are seeing right now. And congratulations.
My pleasure. Thank you. All right, that's it.
So, Regina,